Abuja yasatena se biem na yɛgye adwase a na kyerɛ sɛ ɔman Ghana ho nsɛm na kyerɛ sɛ bi aba abɛbɔ ɛde awura ɛyɛ POG akakyere a yɛso yɛagye pene sɛ yɛde baba abɛsom ɛyɛ man Ghana na ɔmo nso ahu deɛ ɛkɔ ɛne deɛ ɛba ɛwɔ ɛyɛ POG ɛyɛ media so na ɛyɛ ɛda a ɛdi kan a ɔnso ba dwumadie yi so a mahyɛ sɛ ɔbɛdwo subscription na walike dwumadie yi na wobɛtumi nso awura ɛyɛ comment section hɔ na ɔnso watumi adi nkɔmmɔ hɔ sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a dwumadie yi ɛnso ɛbɛyɛ ka bɛhwɛ na yɛbɔ ɛde awura nsɛm a na kyerɛ sɛ yɛbɔ ɛde awura nsɛm a ɛyɛ the JJ Rawlings ɛyɛ former president of Ghana ɛyɛ may so rest in peace ɛyɛ ne ba ɛyɛ Zanetor nso ɛde aba bɛto dwa ɛfa asase pɔn bi a kyerɛ sɛ ɛno nso wɔ ne constituency a ɔno nso ɛyɛ ɛda ɔma no ɛwɔ parliament no na kame akɔyɛ sɛ saa nsase yi ɛyɛ ɛberɛ a na MPP wɔ aban mu no ɔmo nso atwa ɛyɛ ɛyɛ part bi ɛde ma ɛyɛ private developers a mene wo kasa yi ɔmo aba abɛtu ɛyɛ nkɔɔfoɔ a kyerɛ sɛ ɔmo nso ɛredi dwa ɛyɛ market a ɛno nso wɔ asase no so no ɔmo aba abɛtu ɛyɛ saa nkɔɔfoɔ yi ɛde afiri so saa dan a ɔmo nso mpo a ɔmo de tɔ asase no ɔmo nso ɛde bɛyɛ deɛ ɔmo de bɛyɛ na wei na ɛyɛ Zanetor ɛde ɛyɛ dwatoa de akɔma yɛwura ɛyɛ John Dramani Mahama ɛne EOCO so ɔmo mmra na ɔmo mmɛhwɛ ɛyɛ asase no a ɛyɛ state ɛyɛ property no nipakuo a ɔmo hyɛ akyire ɔmo nso ɛtɔn saa asase no ɛde maa saa private developers no ɔmo hwɛ na ɔmo ne saa nkɔfoɔ yi ɛnni na ɛyɛ ne man ba anaasɛ constituency no ɛyɛ manfoɔ nso ntumi ɛndi edwa sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ ɛbɛboa ɔman Ghana na saa aboa ɛyɛ ɔno ne constituency na busua mɛyɛ sɛ bɛgye prɛ na yɛde ɛyɛ yɛ time na abɔ ɛde awura nsɛm a ɛyɛ maame Zanetor ɛde to ɛyɛ highway no so.
So those are the traders. If I know GPRTU and then also traders who play their trade in this Accra CMB Abuja market area. They are protesting what's been said to be an alleged takeover of the lands by private developers over the last 8 years. Now, joining us on Zoom right now is a member of parliament for the Clote constituency, Dr. Zanetor Ajiman Rawlings. Good evening, madam. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. How are you?
I'm well. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope you're doing well as well.
We're hanging in there, keeping body and soul together. Thank you.
Great. Now, first off, we saw the protest by the GPRTU and traders a couple of days ago over the alleged takeover of the CMB Abuja market land by the private individuals. What briefing have you received on this matter as a member of parliament for this area?
To be very honest, this has been a long-standing issue, and over the last 8 years, well, 8 years prior, while I was a member of parliament in opposition, this was something that always came up where people's structures were being demolished, people were being evicted from the area, and in the name of certain private individuals who were claiming ownership to the land. Now, the reason why, for me, this was problematic was after having heard repeated complaints about what was going on and the agitation over that particular area, I actually asked the question on the floor of Parliament to the Minister of Railways at the time. This was in let me just check the date. It was in 2018, yes, in March. And the response that the minister gave very clearly was that this was railways land and it had not been sold, that no portion of the land had been sold and only a specific area had been leased out to a company, and that company had the mandate to build quarters for the railways workers. And then I think part of it was supposed to be for some shopping, that particular enclave, but there was no word about any of that land being sold. And yet over the last 8 years, many, many more people in that area were being actually evicted, structures being demolished in the name of people claiming to have ownership to the land. And this created a lot of angst the reason why this is problematic is there's a huge amount of commerce that happens in that particular enclave. There are thousands of people who live and work there, whose livelihoods are there. And most importantly, a lot of the food that comes into Greater Accra, or at least into Accra from the hinterland, actually comes there. We have so many, there's the We have the cargo stations where they actually bring in the big trucks. Then you have the trotro stations as well, where they obviously, provide means of transportation for people from the constituency into various areas of Greater Accra and beyond. And so the role that this particular area plays cannot be overemphasized. It's key in terms of our food security in the region, but it's also key in terms of the support of the informal sector and the number of livelihoods that it supports. And over the years, whether it's, let me not give conjecture on the reasons why this particular group of people has been targeted, but the bottom line has been that the land is railways land, it's state land, and there should not be private individuals claiming access to land that has not been sold based on the records provided by the minister as of 2019. And last year as well, I was petitioned by the drivers union again on this particular issue regarding the fact that there was, some individuals threatening to evict them at the time, and at which time I also wrote a petition to the minister supporting their request to me for their pleas to be heard. And so the demonstration or the protest that we had this year was not a protest against the government. It was one asking for people to be heard. Where over the years their plight is being ignored, people are being squeezed out of the area. There's no alternative being provided to them, and they're being asked to leave. This is a place that they've occupied since the 80s. So this is something that is not just dear to my heart. This is very important to the livelihoods of thousands of people and very key to our food security. So of course I couldn't just ignore this matter.
What exactly is EOCO being called upon to investigate in this matter of alleged takeover or sale of this Accra CMB Abuja land? What is EOCO, in fact, what are you expecting EOCO to look into? Reason why you're petitioning or calling on them?
Well, I think it's quite simple. EOCO has a mandate to investigate anything relating to economic crimes, and we have an issue where EOCO's mandate now is about following the money. Now, if this is railways land, if the land has not been sold, who is selling it? Who gave them the permission to sell it? Who is buying it? We need to actually figure all of that out, because there's clearly something going on that's untoward. And the only way to have some finality and clarity to what's happening is to have a thorough investigation done. And I think EOCO is best placed to actually do something like that. Besides, they're actually not that far away from the area where this is actually happening.
Absolutely. So private developers have come to say that the land was sold to them. Is that the information you have? And why exactly was this land sold to them? Do you have it?
Several private individuals have claimed ownership of various parts of the land. So it's not just one person. We have different people who are claiming that the land belongs to them, that they have been given the land, that they, permission to build on certain parts of the land. And it just seems a little bit unusual. And for, in previous years, people were claiming affiliation with government as the reason why they could. And the drivers and most of the traders there felt very helpless and very much harassed by what was going on. And I cannot, now that our government is in power, I cannot sit idly by while the livelihoods and security of these people who are my constituents is threatened.
I see. So the main issue you want clearly settled or established is who owns the land, whether indeed it's been sold to private developers and under what circumstance, within which period, or whether this land is still under the ownership of the Ghana Railway Development Authority. That's the main issue for establishment, is it not?
And we're looking for transparency on this issue. If it's been sold to whom, when was it sold? Because clearly some kind of stakeholder engagement should have been had, with clarity on exactly what's going on. If it's state land and people are there and they've been given permission to be there, the drivers are actually paying a levy to occupy the space that they're in. So in that case, we need to understand if they're being asked to pay a certain amount of money as part of a kind of a rental agreement to be on those premises. They're not there as freeloaders. They're actually doing that as part of their business. And I think that we really want clarity. This is railways land, and the last I checked, nothing
like his media message or drop like so on subscribe to a POG political media and the annual book council drop subscription say POG the banner Ghana authentic political headlines a POG media so pay and also submit me account that who the echo and the air banina my Ghana message that's on subscribe still in the council drop subscription now yɛbɔ de wura dwumadie mu sɛ ɛyɛ maame Zanetor no deɛ ɛnyɛ ɔno ara ne kwakwa so sɛ ate against saa developers na mmom ɛyɛ ne constituency mma a ɔmo nso to aba de yi no so ɔnkɔ represent ɔmo wɔ parliament nti ɛna ɔno nso afa saa ko yi ɛna eto no so na onim sɛ saa ko no ɔntumi nti na wafrɛ ɛyɛ the president of Ghana sɛ ɔmmra na ɔnso mɛboa no na mmom ɔmmra mɛboa no ɛwɔ kwan bi sɛ ɛyɛ the same party no almost joining na kame akwa say NPP apan no na di saa nyame na nsem a almost akoye mo position a say omo hwe na omo twe omo so e wa asase yantam a omo so tam e de ma saa private developers no
changed in terms of the ownership. So let's have some clarity and transparency on what exactly is being done with the state land.
I see, but are you aware that some of these private developers who claim this land has been sold to them, different portions of the land have been sold to them, have over the last few weeks gone to threaten to evict these traders and the transport unions that do their work there at this Abuja market, that land area? Are you aware of these threats over the last few weeks?
This has been happening on an ongoing basis. And as a matter of fact, the MCE was approached and he has refused to give a permit on this because we need to have clarity on this. So even at the level of the municipal assembly, granting of a permit has become an issue because there's not enough transparency around what has happened with the land in this CMB Abuja area. And we really need to get to the bottom of it. And in order to ensure that it's being done properly, I think EOCO really has the mandate and is well placed to be able to do that. And that's why I mentioned, the involvement of EOCO on this particular matter. We have to find out who's paying what and why. If the land indeed has been sold, then we need to have transparency and the people need to be informed about that.
I see. And have you, beyond this call you make on television and the call that you make to EOCO, is there any official notification to the Economic and Organized Crime Office on this matter beyond this appeal, or you're going to reiterate this call to them to look into this matter tonight?
Well, I have made it repeatedly, and I think that the next step is to actually make that call officially. But I think the bottom line is that there are things that are happening. I believe that the president has taken a position on issues regarding the corruption around state assets, and I think this is no different. When we're looking at the issue of corruption, it's not just how it affects certain state agencies, but it's also about how it affects the livelihoods and the rights of citizens of this country who are just trying to do their best to survive.
Well, I thank you very much. It's one that we'll keep an eye on, see how the coming days will look like on this, and notify us if EOCO is eventually petitioned and what is going to happen with this. Because clearly the traders, the transport unions who ply their trade there, this across CMB Abuja market, are not too happy about the abuse and the threats that they're faced with as we speak. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Zanetor.
Thank you so very much, Nai. Have a good evening.
And do have a good evening too. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Zanetor Ajiman-Rawlings is a member of parliament for the Klolik constituency. And that this area, this Accra, CMB, Abuja market, that's part of the constituency as well. And so it's one that we're keeping an eye on how things are playing out there. This is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, the Teacher and Education Workers Union, that's TEWU, they've declared an indefinite nationwide strike beginning Friday, September 19, 2025, which is tomorrow, really. Their reason consists of conditions of service and other related matters on why they say that over time they have not been satisfied with the engagements between them and government, reason why they want some more than this. Let's take a look at this. This is a release that came through earlier today from the Teachers and Educational Workers Union announcing this indefinite strike action effective Friday, 19 September 2025. They say all their members across the country are directed to stay at home. Don't go to work. That's what they're saying until further notice. And this decision, they give details, has become inevitable due to government and employer institutions' persistent failure to address long-standing concerns of non-teaching staff despite exhausting all laid down legal and procedural requirements. Go on to say, and these are the demands that they are making. Immediate signing of conditions of service for one, Teachers and Education Workers Union of TUC, Ghana, and all junior staff of the public and technical universities. 2, non-teaching staff of the Ghana Education Service, staff of Ghana Library Authority, staff of Museums and Monuments Board, inclusion in payments of GES non-teaching staff for continuous professional development allowance. That's one of the demands that they are making. They are also making the demand for the resolution of promotion grievances, including staff who passed interviews but remained unpaid on new scales, staff placed on scales but denied official promotion letters, staff who have received no communication after their interviews as well. They say the government, particularly the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, accountability, the Fair Wages must conclude and sign all conditions of service without further delays or excuses. That's one of the demands that they are making as well. And then all employers should note that it shall constitute an unfair labor practice should any employer prevent or intimidate any of their members, non-teaching staff of GES, public and technical universities, Ghana Library Authority, Ghana Museums and Monuments Board from exercising their lawful right to strike. Now, this is one that essentially is going to have a serious impact on public sector and the delivery of public good. They've said they've exercised patience and restraint. They followed due process and exhausted all legal requirements under the Labour Act of Ghana. The responsibility for the disruption of the industrial peace in the education sector rests squarely. They say government is to blame for this and their agencies. We're going to go for this quick break. When we're back, Austin Gama is a labor expert.
We're here at Nat Hall to find out what problems parents and their wards have concerning the senior high school placement system and how these problems are being resolved and what the processes are like.
Fiani John Gameli, and my ward is Isabella Fiani Ewenam. Okay, this done a check and I couldn't find her placement. So she was crying the whole morning. So I contacted one of my colleagues and he said I should come to Workers College. And so that I'll come and find out what is happening. Unfortunately, when I came, I learned it was not placed yet. They are now doing the placement for her. So quickly, when I give a report, everything was smooth, and I was very happy that the system, the way things are going on, I was so happy.
I'm here because of the school placement. When we came, they attended to us satisfactorily.
Okay. They were really patient with us. I got placement, but I came to change it. They said from next week they'll call us and tell us that the schools are in so that we can check.
My name is Dr. Belinda Glover, and we are happy seeing you here this morning. The first desk is for TVET. So if you are a student and then you want to go to vocational technical, we ask you to go to that desk for any challenge that you are facing. The second one is for purely second cycle schools, so senior high schools, and the senior high secondary technical. So if you are going for secondary technical, then you go to the second table. The other table, we are looking at re-entry. So somebody might have completed in 2022, 2023, 2024. They may not have been placed. So this year when you come, we will do that for you. Private schools are in. They have been categorized as E, and then students have been placed. So as of when the cases keep coming, we'll be able to tell whether they are able to go to those schools or they are even happy about it. But for now, we haven't really had any issues regarding that. Yes, but everybody is happy for now. Maybe later, if they come back that they are not happy, then we'll take it out from there. Some selected private schools are part of the free senior high school policy.
That's it. So coming home, na ebo Eddie Rajumedian say POG Media de Ghana. Political headlines are a POG person now bit or somebody me a can na who the echo and the ebony na my Ghana. Muna some subscribers still are measures of a job subscription. Now I see notification bell no. Now also I share the amount now me so who the echo and the eba my Ghana mu. Now bet means one boy. Where the comment section or now went to me at you come on a POG. Never never baba be my home. But that's it. So Jebre, now come.